First, I'm so excited to introduce my next guest. Doesn't really need an introduction, but he's joining us live from Florida. He is Twins baseball pitcher Tailor Rodgers. Hi there, Tailor.
Hey, how you doing? Thanks for having me.
You know, I am doing really well. Been really looking forward to talking with you all week. You're definitely missing quite a snowstorm here. Are you excited for spring training to get going?
Man, I can't wait. Yeah, certainly not missing the snow. So that's a positive. But yeah, I mean, with what we did last year and, kind of having some unfinished business and then, the front office making some moves for us, it's definitely an exciting time to be a Twins fan.
Since I met you a couple of weeks ago, there's been some exciting Twins news with trades and waiting and seeing some things. And I mean, how does that affect, your preparation for the season when some of those kinds of things are brewing?
I've gotten better at it, starting to realize that that's kind of stuff that's out of our control. So I really just kind of, follow it and see what's going on, but really don't think too much into it. And, until we get going, and even moves happen during spring training. We've seen that the last couple of years too. So really you just try to, get some camaraderie with the group that you have and know that baseball is a business at the end of the day. But, certainly I think with our front office, we are in a really nice position.
The cover of the sports section today has your coach in the Star Tribune, sort of always pontificating, the different columnists, the reporters writing about the stats and, can we really have a season like we had, Rocco's 2019-2020 season, just so amazing. What are your thoughts as we head into this new season about that?
I think it's very possible for us to do what we've done again. It's hard to say that we could beat the home run record, but we didn't think we were going to do that last year either. And I think, with the way Rocco kind of runs the clubhouse and the way his kind of aura is, it's not like we're putting a bunch of pressure on ourselves we have to do this again. We must do that again. I think a new team, we have new players. It's a new season. I think we can kind of create our own identity and also just remember that we have confidence to revert back from last year.
Yeah, and you have some wonderful statistics of your own. You're not the new guy anymore. Does it are you feeling like you're more established as you're getting ready for this season?
I do. Yeah, I'm getting better with preparation, off-season training. I'm getting better and starting to know my body, and even just up in Minnesota, like I now know the street names. I don't have to use GPS to get to the airport anymore.
Always helpful.
So, always good. Yeah. So just I'm getting comfortable up there, and now all the staff and all the helpers around the clubhouse by name. You get to know them, their families, and it's just a really cool thing that I've been able to be around long enough to get that.
Yeah, no, it's terrific. Well, another thing that's a big part of your life is firefighting and firefighters. You come from a family of firefighters. Tell people a little bit about that.
Yeah. Firefighting is very close to my heart. I would have been a fifth generation firefighter. That's what I wanted to do my whole childhood. I didn't even think about baseball. I was just going to go be a fireman and continue the generations. And I had breakfast with my grandpa this morning, and he informed me that there has been a Rodgers serving as a first responder in Denver for over 100 years. And I think that's really, really cool. So
that is really cool.
Yeah, it's awesome. It makes me proud to have Rodgers on the back of the jersey. And any way I can give back to the first responders, that's what I try to do.
Tailor Rodgers is one of the pitchers for the Minnesota Twins. He's our closer, and he is a twin himself. He's an identical twin. His brother is a pitcher for the San Francisco Giants. I mean, wow, the genes really kind of stayed right there on the same course. So I'm guessing the only reason, and I think it's a fun fact, that you're the 10th set of twins to play in the MLB. The only thing probably that your family said okay to, you not firefighting and your brother not firefighting, is that you went into professional baseball. I'm sure that's like the only way you can get off the hook.
I think that's the only reason that we're allowed back at Christmas and Thanksgiving.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. So
Yeah.
you started the Rodgers Family Foundation. Tell people about that.
Yes, yes. So, like I told you, I wanted to find a way to give back to the first responders, and there was a need that's kind of lacking. Talking with my family in the fire service, and it was the behavioral wellness, the mental wellness, which is basically like PTSD. And our military does a great job with them, seeking help and stuff, but it kind of gets lost in our first responders. And a lot of times, if say they have a rough call and they want to go speak to somebody, well, they have to pay out of pocket to go speak to somebody, and I just didn't think that was right. So wanted to help them get the help that they want and that they need, and that they can come home to their families and have a normal life. So I'm doing half of it in Colorado and half of it in Minnesota, and I just think it's awesome that the Twins have been so welcoming to help me get the word out. And there's two guys with St. Paul in Minnesota that have helped me integrate with those departments, and they've been so willing to help me and help me help them. So it's just been awesome. There's been great people around, and I really can't say enough about it.
Yeah, no, I really love, Taylor, how you've incorporated, your home state of Colorado and your second home of Minnesota. So Tailor Rodgers is working with the Colorado professional firefighters as well as Minneapolis-St. Paul firefighters. And you can find out more about the Rodgers Family Foundation at Rodgers 55. So Rodgers and then the numbers 55.org. Some great information there. And, of course, you can donate. What I think is wonderful is that you are thinking about their wellness, the wellness of firefighters. And, unfortunately, more firefighters die from suicide than from the incidents they respond to. And when I read that on your site, I was really saddened by that, Taylor.
Yes. Yeah. It kind of hits you. And it's one of those things, when I first begun this, I was talking to teammates about it, and they weren't really sure about what the fire service exactly entailed. They really I think that they just thought they would go to a fire and put it out, but it's so much more than that. And they run across things all the time that you never know what's going to hit somebody the wrong way or what's going to stick with them. So I just think that hopefully, getting the word out. My main mission right now is just the awareness piece. And I think that's the biggest mission right now is awareness for them to know that if they want to go get the help that we have it here and that we can do it. It's my foundation is 100% volunteer. Everybody that helps me out volunteers. We don't take any money from it. 100% of the money going to the foundation goes back out. And that was my main goal, was to not have any of the money coming in go anywhere else but to help the firefighters.
Yeah, no, I think it's great. What has been some of the response from some of the families and firefighters you've helped, Taylor?
They're just really excited that this is getting started. My overall goal is to hopefully get some more states going. My brother is going to try to start getting the awareness going in San Francisco out there, and hopefully, can kind of just snowball and get the whole country to know about it. That would be just amazing if that was the case.
Yeah, no, I think it's wonderful. We're talking with Tailor Rodgers. He's a pitcher from the Minnesota Twins. He's from Colorado, his first home state, and he calls Minnesota his second home. He's getting ready for spring training. He's an identical twin. His brother plays for San Francisco. If you have any thoughts for him, give us a text, 651-989-9226. So, Taylor, it's just you here. Your brother's not on the line. Who's really the better pitcher?
We get that question a lot, and I think it's easy to say this. We are such different pitchers that I don't think we can compare each other. I'm a left-handed guy, kind of over the top. He's right-handed, and he's a submarine thrower. So I think that's the best part about it.
That's like your only opposite. Like, you're so identical, and that's your opposite.
Yes. So we were actually mirror image twins. Apparently,
Cool.
that's a thing.
That's a thing.
Yes. So that's the best part, is we don't have to sit there and be competitive about who's the better pitcher, just because we're different. And, we're older now. We're kind of over the whole sibling rivalry kind of thing. And it's more about just support. And I'm his biggest fan. he's and vice versa. So it's really cool. I'm hoping he'll be on the ball club when the Giants come to Target Field in May. That would be quite the scene.
Yes, that would be quite the scene, and maybe you guys can join me both together on the radio if they let you break away for a couple minutes. Well, here,
Yeah.
I had the pleasure of seeing Taylor and his colleague Jake Odorizzi speak at Dunkers 2 weeks ago, and I don't want to choke up again. You shared such a great story about being able to see a very special day for your brother. Do you remember that? Do you mind sharing that? You got done with the game and you were able to see him debut.
Yeah, that was I was more excited for his debut than I was mine. I think he took a different path to the major leagues, and being twins, we get compared a lot, and everybody was always asking him why he wasn't in the major leagues and I was, and we just take different routes, and his was definitely more rockier than mine. So I think him getting there, his perseverance. He was a 2-time AAA All-Star.
Wow!
And just never got his chance. So for
and
him
that's
to
the thing. I mean,
that,
luck also has to line up on your side too. The talent can be there, but the timing has to line up. So wasn't it that you got done with the game and you were able to see his open in the locker room or something? Do I have that right?
Yeah. So we were in Chicago playing the White Sox, and the game ended, and I knew it was right around the time where the relievers were probably getting ready to get in the game, and so we sprinted into the clubhouse, and all my teammates knew it was his day to debut as well. So we changed all the TVs to the Giants game, and there was a ground ball down the line, and at their ballpark they have the bullpens on the field in foul territory there. So the ground ball went down the line, and I seen that he was warming up, so it was absolutely perfect timing. And you really just could not write a story like this. And then he got in the game, and everybody stuck around. The bus time was pushed back, so the whole team stayed and watched. And just seeing everybody's excitement for him and for me and the family, it was really, really cool moment.
That is cool. Well, thank you for sharing that with Real Talk with Roshini listeners today, because that's really special. I think it, just gives us a nice little insight also into you when we watch you out there playing. What are you the most excited about for this new season, Taylor?
Man, that is a great question. A lot of us bullpen guys were joking at Twins Fest that we're going to need some coverage down there in the bullpen, with our lineup, hitting all these homers and stuff. But
funny.
Yeah. But no, the new season is always exciting. You try to work hard all off season and try to improve on something and improve your strength, improve your mental side of things, maybe your diet. And I think just going into a season and trying to put that to work is just the coolest thing. And you kind of work for a couple of months and put something together. And I think that's just really cool about baseball, is that it takes time for things to unravel, and it takes time to marinate things. And I think once you master something, that body of work you put towards it is really fulfilling.
Yeah, and it must be really neat, too, that, you do have an intense schedule with so many games, but you get to, like, night after night, day after day, really try some new things, see how they went. If they don't go well, you don't have to wait a week or two. The very next day, you can kind of fix things, too. I think that must be sort of a neat thing that's so special to baseball.
Absolutely. Yeah. They say as a reliever, you have to have a short memory, and there's nothing truer about that. You can't get too high on yourself, and when things are going good, and you can't get too down on yourself either. And I think that's really fun to have a full season come together and look back at it. It's a really cool thing about baseball. And another thing I'm going to be doing this year is, when we have some off days here and there, I'm going to be taking dinner to some firehouses in Minnesota. So I'm really excited about that piece too. The Twins are awesome. They asked if I wanted to get involved with some more stuff in the fire service out there in Minnesota. I said absolutely, and they kind of took the reins. So we're going to do some pop-up dinners here in Minnesota and St. Paul this summer.
I have a feeling there might be an inundation of calls. Where's Taylor going to be? We want to be at those dinners. That is fabulous. Well, I think that's great. And I understand that the pitchers and the catchers report to Fort Myers in Fort Myers Wednesday. Are you getting in some final time in Colorado with your family, or are you already down in Florida?
I leave tomorrow morning. Yes. So
Right.
Getting those last couple family dinners in, saying bye to everybody, that whole deal. It's bittersweet. I'm excited for the season to start, but also kind of bummed to leave family for about 8 months.
Yeah, well, I'm really glad you had that breakfast with Grandpa this morning. It's very special, and he must be very, very proud of you. You can find out more about the Rodgers Family Foundation at Rodgers55.org. Of course, you can watch Tailor Rodgers all season and listen to him on WCCO Radio. Listen to his actions, I should say. Hear all about him on WCCO Radio and the radio.com app all through spring training and the regular season. Taylor will be watching you, sending you just great vibes. Have a lot of fun out there.
Hey, thank you very much. I really appreciate you having me on. That means a lot.
Absolutely. And we'll put this up on the show page so your fans and family can go to the show page as well as radio.com rewind and revisit our conversation today. Tailor Rodgers, just, knock them out of the park, have a lot of fun, or I should say prevent the knocking out of the park when you're up there pitching. That's what I should say.
Hey, thank you very much. Let's do this again.
Yes, absolutely. Open invitation. Thanks so much.